Welcome everyone. Great to see so many people on time tonight. I'm sure we'll have more joining. I'm Dave Schwab, and I will be facilitating the meeting tonight. So we've got a bunch of people joining right now, and expect more will be joining over the next few minutes, but we do have a lot to get done tonight. So I think the first thing I want to ask people to do is to make sure that your name is visible. If whatever account you're using doesn't have your name, then it's very helpful if you can change that just using the rename button. You can share your pronouns if you wish. And I will also let folks know sort of just some basic announcements in a few minutes. I want to share the agenda in the chat so that folks are able to see that, and that I can make sure that people have access to it. And then let's do some quick introductions. Like I said, I'm sure that more people will be joining, but yeah, want to be able to say hi to everyone before we get started here. So let me drop that agenda link into the chat. All right, so let's do some quick introductions. If people can just, say your name, where you live, you can share your pronouns, and also just, if you can mention if this is your first meeting or if, you've been to a Green Party meeting before. So I'm seeing someone with the name 911 Tap. I don't know if you could share that to, it says it's a shared account, if you could rename to, to let us know who you are. And all right, and yeah, we also have some observers from other chapters here tonight. So I'll try to start with folks in our local Four Lakes Green Party chapter. So Frida, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my name is Frida. This is my first meeting here. And my pronouns are she, her. What was the other question?
Just where you're from.
Oh, I'm from Austin. Moved here recently in September to Madison. Yeah.
Cool, welcome. All right, a model of brevity, that's what we need. Allie?
Sorry. My name's Allie Christensen. My pronouns are she, her. I live downtown. I've always lived in Wisconsin. I used to live in Oregon, Wisconsin. And this is my first meeting.
Cool, welcome. Rachel?
Hey, my name's Rachel, she, her. I live in a co-op on the Near East Side. I had been really active with the Four Lakes Greens for a while. And this is my first time back in maybe a year or so.
Cool, welcome. Benjamin?
My name's Benjamin Pierce. I live downtown. I've lived in co-op since 1989, and that's about it. Oh, and he, him.
Okay, welcome. Syed?
Thank you. Sayyid Abbas, he, him. Alder represent District 12, which is near east and north side of the Madison. Live with a family, 2 kids under 4, and here in Madison. Originally from Pakistan and migrate to US in 2011.
Cool. Welcome.
And this is my first meeting, yes.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Thistle?
Hey, I'm Thistle. I live in Madison, and I've been with the FLGP for almost a year.
All right, thanks. Amber?
Hi, I'm Amber. Live in Madison here. Pronoun she, her, hers. And this is my first meeting.
Cool. Welcome. Jessica?
Hello, I'm Jessica, they, them pronouns. I live in Madison, and I'm still a relatively new member of the Greens, but I have managed to attend a few meetings so far. Hello, everyone.
Hey. Okay. Andrea?
So I'm Andrea Bilger, she, her. I live in Madison. I've been with the Four Lakes Green Party for a few months, so I'm relatively new. Been voting Green for longer than that. Glad to be here.
Great. So I was just looking in the chat and I see people need document access. So I will work to make that happen, but I also want to keep us moving here. So Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex. He, him. This is my first meeting. I've been in Madison for about 3 years. I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay. So if folks can try to access the agenda doc again, sorry that you're having trouble before. Hopefully it'll work now. Rebecca?
Yeah, the document access works. I'm Rebecca Kimball. I'm the alder for District 18 on the north side of Madison. I've been hanging around the Greens for quite a while. And what else are we supposed to say? I've moved to Madison in 1990. Lived in Kenya for 7 years in the 90s and in the late 80s and 90s. And I've been a North Sider, for 20 years now.
Cool, thanks. Samuel?
Hi, I'm Sam Chance. I've been involved with the Greens since last April. I'm the representative to the Coordinating Council, which is essentially the standing committee for the Wisconsin Green Party from Congressional District 2. That's who I am. Pass.
Thanks. Maya?
Hi, I'm Maya, they, them pronouns. I'm from Madison and still live in Madison, downtown area, District 2, and this is my first meeting. Thanks.
Cool, welcome. Mary?
Hi, Mary Sanderson. I live out in DeForest, so I might leave when we get to talking about the Madison's delegates especially. I've been agreeing on part of the Four Lakes for 2 years. Happy to see so many people here.
Yes. Okay, then we also have some observers, Carrie, ZB, and Tom. That's Tom Rodman, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm having trouble getting my video to work, but yeah, I'm just observing.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check to make sure that we got everyone. And I'm just going down the list one more time. Just to, okay, cool. All right, so I just wanted to mention a few things. So I believe that everyone who is well, I guess, so first of all, everyone who's a dues paying member of the Four Lakes Green Party is entitled to participate in voting and decision making. You know, folks who are not dues paying members are welcome to join the meeting and observe. But because we are a dues paying membership organization, you know, we do ask that folks become members to participate in decision making. You can still do so. I noticed there were some people who were having issues in the comment. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely, you know, you can, you know, even if you're having trouble with the website, we can still figure it out. Maybe, I mean, Tom is our webmaster, so hopefully he can figure out what's going on with the website. But, you know, one way or another, we definitely will record, you know, that folks are trying to join and just had technical difficulties. So sorry about that. Then, yeah, so after the meeting and, you know, once we have figured out, okay, who, you know, has been trying to join and just had trouble with the website, we will send out a voting link to members, and there will be the various local candidates who are seeking our endorsement, and we also have the opportunity to elect a local chapter representative for the Four Lakes Green Party to the Wisconsin Green Party Coordinating Council, which is basically the decision-making body for the Wisconsin Green Party in between statewide membership meetings. Yeah, so everyone who is a member should have received an invitation to join our Google group, which is our email list. That's how we shared candidate responses to our endorsement questionnaire. We have, you know, discussion on that list, and so if anyone has joined but has not received an invitation, I tried to send out, you know, I sent out some today to folks who've joined recently. And you also, you know, once you join that, you should be able to view the archive. So you should be able to see all the responses and the discussion around the various questionnaires and other issues that we've had. If anyone has joined and has not yet gotten an invitation to that email list, then please let me know. Okay. And I'll try I will deal with that as soon as I get a chance, but I do also want to keep us moving here. So yeah, so I just got to pull up the agenda again. Okay. Oh, and the other announcement is that we have a, as we decided our last meeting, a strategic planning session, which it will basically be a sort of a 2-hour session to brainstorm ideas and, priorities, goals for the Four Lakes Green Party, how we can really maximize our effectiveness and, make a difference on the issues that we care about. So I want to share that doodle poll right now, we're trying to find a time that will work for everybody. It's ambitious, but again, it'll be a time outside our regular meeting time when, again, we can brainstorm, start coming up with some priorities and goals for our party. Okay, and let's see. I guess the other thing to mention is that if folks would like to speak, then you can, in the chat, just write the word stack. We use a stack system, and in general, the first person to get on the stack will be able to speak, and then until they pass, say pass or over, just be mindful of time because we have a lot of people, and we're trying to keep things short, hopefully done by 8. We'll see how that goes. And also another thing that sometimes we do is that if folks haven't spoken before, they may be able to get on the stack before someone who's already spoken. So yeah, that's just that's a way that we can all make sure that we can have our voices heard and that we don't have people talking over each other or anything like that. So I'm doing my best to monitor the chat while also keep things moving here. So forgive me if I miss anything or screw it up. Feel free to put in the chat again and nudge me. So yeah, I think without further ado, we can start in our discussion. So in the meantime, I will try to look at folks in the chat who need an invite to the email list or anything like that. So in local elections, we've had 13 candidates for Madison Common Council apply for our endorsement. 6 of those are, well, I should say there are 3 districts where 2 candidates have applied for our endorsement. And what we have on our ballot is the ability to vote if you would like to have a dual endorsement, or well, whether or not you'd like to have a dual endorsement, you can also rank your preferences for an endorsement, so that in the case that we don't decide to do a dual endorsement, we'll have a ranked choice vote to determine who our endorsement will go to. And another thing to mention is that we also have a binding none of the above option when we vote, which means, basically if you, in a race, if you do not support a candidate, then you can rank the option of none of the remaining candidates instead of ranking that candidate who you want to vote against. And therefore, even if someone is running unopposed, if you don't support them, if you don't support endorsing them, you can choose the none of the remaining candidates option. Or you would also be able to rank candidates who you do support, but then also rank none of the remaining candidates if you do not support the remaining candidates. So I hope that is somewhat clear. That's our brand of ranked choice voting that we use here. The first race is District 2, where we have Patrick Heck and Benji Ramirez have both applied for our endorsement. I think, Patrick Heck had another commitment. I'm not sure if Benji was planning to be here tonight. So anyway, I've talked for long enough, so I just want to open it up. If there's any questions or discussion, folks can feel free to get on the stack. Andrea, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So I thought Patrick and Benji both gave great responses to the questionnaire, and I support a dual endorsement.
Great. And that's all. Okay, yeah, just a reminder, if you say pass when you're done talking, it's clearer, and then we won't accidentally interrupt anyone. Yeah, thanks. So Benjamin.
Yes, briefly, I would support a dual endorsement if it came to it, though I would endorse Patrick. I was very impressed when he first campaigned that he came around to all the cooperators and sat down with us at dinner to find out what our needs have been. And he has been an advocate in the increasing political presence of co-ops on the city council. He has a ton of experience. It's incredibly obvious. I think he's the most qualified, and therefore he would have my preference. But again, in the interest of consensus, when it comes to a dual endorsement, I would certainly go for that as well. It depends on the discussion that emerges. I pass.
Okay. I think I'm next on the stack. So, and just to answer a question, responses are on our email list. So if you need to be added, just send me your email and I will just add you directly. And I would also support a dual endorsement, as I mentioned in the my email. Benji is actually a personal friend. I lived with him at Avalon Cooperative recently. I definitely admire his activism and his energy. I think that he brings a lot of good perspectives to, that are often missing in our community. I've also, I've gotten to know Patrick over the past couple of years. We endorsed him in his first run, and he supported our Green Party petition drive last year. He also participated in our campaign school in 2019. So he's definitely been, a friend to the Greens. And also, I found it in working with him on issues, when we had concerns about local development projects, he was extremely helpful. And also, was a friend to co-ops, and I think really aligns with the Greens on many of our issues. So yeah, I think both would be, great members of the council. So I'm in favor of a dual endorsement. And I do see a few emails, so I will just add folks now. If there's any questions or other discussion on District 2, then feel free to get on the stack. Otherwise, we can move on to the next race. Okay, so not seeing any. Let's talk about District 3 and Charlie Rowe. Benjamin, go ahead.
Yes, I know Charlie not particularly well. I know Charlie from an open mic, but that's an open mic that we've both attended for years, and you get to know certain things about a person. And one of them is, where do they stand in a community? This open mic is a very intimate community. It's also a place where a person can get up and dominate show, or they can give a bit of voice to everyone. Charlie Rowe is a paradigm of the second. If Charlie has a voice, other people have a voice. I was very excited to see that Charlie was running, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to be here tonight. I pass.
Thank you. Okay. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, I know Charlie in a very casual sense. I'm an administrator in an East Side discussion Facebook group where she's an active participant. She's always, to me, exemplified, good virtues. And I also was very impressed with her answers to the questionnaire, so I'd be in favor of endorsement. Pass.
Oh, sorry, Miss Andrea.
Yeah, no, I think Stan. Well, anyway, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know Charlie, but I thought the answers were good. Not the very best among them all, but I thought they were good, and I thought it made sense to endorse.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry, pass.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or discussion? Okay, we've just had Zach has just joined the meeting. Zach, if you could very quickly just introduce yourself.
Sure. I live at Nottingham Cooperative. We're in support of.
Having a little trouble with the audio. I heard Nottingham Cooperative and then it faded out. Okay, Zach, maybe if you could introduce yourself in the chat. Yeah, sorry about the audio issues, but yeah, welcome to the meeting. And let's keep moving. But if you could introduce yourself in the chat, that would be awesome. Okay, so if there's no further discussion on the District 3 race, then let us move now to District 6, where Brian Benford has applied for our endorsement. And I'll just get on the stack quickly to say that, you know, I've gotten acquainted with Brian recently, spoke with him about a week ago And, I learned that he was, has been involved with the Greens before, when he first ran for city council in the mid 2000s. And I believe he said he was the first, well, I don't want to put words in his mouth because now I'm not remembering, but like the first person of color elected as a Green in Wisconsin. And yeah, so anyway, I feel he very much aligns with our values and vision. And, he spoke about using his office to, reach back and, like cultivate young leaders in the community. So yeah, I thought, it was definitely a good match for us. Andrea?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm probably going to weigh in on all these just because I read them, so I have an opinion on them. So Brian, I thought his answers were great. I strongly support endorsing him. Pass.
Okay, great. So unless there's any other discussion regarding District 6 and Brian Benford, we can move to District 8, where Ayomi Abuse and Juliana Bennett have both applied for our endorsements. So I'm not sure if we have anyone who is in District 8 or, who's familiar with the race. I see Rebecca's on stack. Go ahead.
I want to speak strongly for Juliana Bennett. She is a really grassroots campus organizer that has been active in campus organizing for the couple years she's been in college. She was the founder of the BIPOC Coalition on campus and has really advocated for strong COVID protections for students. She also was a co-founder with Ayomi of Impact Demand and was out on the streets all summer long. And recently, I have to say I am not impressed with Ayomi's behavior during this campaign. She has blocked Juliana from posting on pages that she administers on Facebook that she has allowed other candidates to post on, and she is using basically as her campaign page the Madison for Black Lives Facebook page, and is not really as I would say demonstrably committed to grassroots activism. And to actually working with her base and the constituents as Juliana is. And so I just, in trying to get to know them both, and I would argue for a single endorsement for Juliana.
Okay, thanks. And just a reminder for everyone, if you say pass when you're finished speaking, then it just helps us not to, interrupt you before you're done. Andrea, go ahead.
Yeah, so Rebecca, I'm very interested in what you said. I think that sounds very important. I did have one issue with Juliana's responses, and it's an issue I had with several responses, which just happened to be all from women, where they didn't say they would refuse corporate money. Now, you say she's very much into grassroots activism. What do you think? Do you think that was an omission? Do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I really do think that was an omission. I'm surprised she didn't say that. Maybe she just, you guys, we got hammered with 13. I know I filled out 13 candidate questionnaires in the last couple of weeks. And so it's been really intense. I would be very surprised if she said would take corporate contributions. Let me actually text her. I'll text her, and if we're still on it, when she answers, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. And just to respond, I will also, I did some double checking of others, but I'll double check to make sure I didn't get that wrong. But I tried to be careful. I don't want to smear anyone. So thank you, Pat.
Thanks. Okay. Is there any other discussion on the District 8 race? Any questions or comments regarding either Ayomi Obuse or Juliana Bennett, or the race in general? Okay. Not seeing any. Okay, next up is District 9, where Nikki Conklin has applied for our endorsement. Would anyone like to get on the stack? Rebecca, go ahead.
Yeah, I enthusiastically support Nikki. She is, came out of neighborhood organizing, lives on Tree Lane, and I've known her in supporting tenant organizing around Meridian properties. She really did a fantastic job actually winning demands against Meridian on behalf of the tenants where she lives. She is, no nonsense person who admits she has a lot to learn and is willing to learn, but is really enthusiastic and I think shares a lot of the green values. So I enthusiastically support her. And, we just need to get Paul Skidmore out of that seat. Pass.
Yeah, so I'll get on stack just to say that I agree with endorsing Nikki Conklin. I think she seems very much aligned with our vision. And yeah, sometimes getting new people on the council is a very good thing. Pass. Okay, would anyone else like to get on the stack regarding the District 9 race? Nikki Conklin. Okay, so next up is District 10, and where Mara Aish has applied for our endorsement. So if anyone would like to get on the stack regarding District 10. Rebecca, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like I'm dominating this conversation, but I am personally, so I have a personal policy of not endorsing for the body I sit on, but 3 women came to me last summer and literally asked me to run for re-election to support them. And one of them was Yannette Figueroa Cole, who is running in District 10. The other was Nikki, and the other was Brandy Grayson. And I really was not going to run for reelection. It was a rough summer and very demoralizing in many ways. But seeing the three of them step up and ask me to, to support them, just gave me so much hope and energy. I'm like, oh, if you guys are on council, I want to be on that council. I want to be on that same council that you're on. So I really suspended my, my personal policy to endorse them, since the three of them literally got me to run again. And Mara Aish has been coming to council meetings lately, testifying against the development of multifamily housing in her neighborhood. She's very much a pro-police person. Her campaign manager is named Bonnie Rowe, who is also a woman who comes to council and, always argues for more police. And in the way she expresses herself, it's very very racially insensitive and coming from, I would say, a white supremacist point of view. So I think it would be very bad for the Four Lakes Green Party to endorse this candidate.
On the stack. Thanks, Rebecca. And, you're perfectly entitled to share your opinion, and I appreciate you bringing it here. So, and if folks want to get on the stack and join in the conversation, then don't be shy. And yeah, I definitely appreciate that information because I didn't know much about this candidate. I did find some things sort of off-putting about the responses. I haven't read it recently, but just as one example, an answer about homelessness, sort of implying that homelessness is a choice for many people. And many of the answers were very wishy-washy, kind of like, okay, where does this person actually stand? And it sounds like they don't really share our values, and certainly not our priorities for our community. So yeah, I will be voting none of the above in district, which was this 10? Yes, pass. All right. Do you have any further questions or discussion about District 10? Okay, not seeing any. So then next up we have District 12, where Tessa Echeverria and Syed Abbas both applied for endorsement, and apologies if I mispronounce either name. And Tessa emailed me before the meeting to say that they were planning to be here, but unfortunately had a death in the family, and so were unable to attend tonight. So, I just said that I would relate that. Syed Abbas has been able to join us. And I believe would like to make a statement. So I will hand it over to you, Syed. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate that. I have read other candidates' answers too, and some of the comments on my candidacy as well. And I think it's an opportunity for me to introduce myself. First of all, some of you, because I'm a first generation immigrant, came to US, so system is new to me, and everything I learned through experiencing different type of biasness and racism, and also good people and opportunities. America provide a lot of opportunities as well. The thing which in last 2 years I really try to do is listen, learn, and then try to represent people in the council. And also, some of you, it's hard again as an immigrant and move to Madison or any community to know a lot of people or know groups, but I tried really hard to communicate and try to listen with constituent and beyond my district as well, to engage with elders and other community members and try to make decisions which represent my community and also represent the value of your organization and also my personal values. So that's, I want to put that out first. Second is there is a lot of, I will say, misinformation, or rather than a false information about F-35 and my particular role. Some of DSA members, and you can see their comments under it, and they have all the rights to the way they want to write. They have the right to express their opinion, but they never reach out to me to discuss about those opinions and see where are the differences, because I'm always open. So I want to clear that also out to all of you as well. And Alder Campbell is also there, and she can also second my discussion, or she can provide more information on F-35 particular issue. I marched with all of you. I opposed. I put my name as a. I will also like to let you know, first I got elected, I was endorsed by Chamber of Commerce. 25% of my election donation came through them. And you all know Chamber and other groups, they were very supportive of deployment of F-35. I took a stance which was a right stance for our Black community, which is disproportionately impacted. I did not follow the pressure group, not got pressurized. I listened my community, and if I would have play politics, there are several ways you can do on a council floor. You can remove your name as a sponsorship. You can vote against. I put my name, I put myself forward, I took a stance. And also in the end, if you remember, the first resolution came in the council, there was a lot of amendments made to that resolution. And me and Alder Campbell, we completely opposed. We are the two alders who said no after amendments, because that was a stance. I went with Alder Campbell and other alders of Common Council, and also Chris Taylor, to a airport National Guard meeting with the Assistant Air Chief, if I'm not wrong. And I spoke there, though I spoke very well about what community needs are. I put a lot of fights on all platforms. None of the places where you can come and say, hey, Syed did not support it here. He did not voted according to the community requirement. What is right, I did it. So I want to make that sure that F-35 information is not accurate. And I'm really open, and I will happy to discuss more in detail if there are questions. Regarding last 1 year, I wrote in my answers, I'm an ally for Black Lives Movement, and the decisions I took on the council, along with other alders, regarding especially about Chahud, putting my name as a sponsor, and that money also came through Police Academy, $250,000. Also on the north side, and I worked very closely with Northside Planning Council and Police Department. We had an issue in McDonald. Instead of using excessive force, with Northside Planning Council, local stakeholders, local community group, and me as an alder, we work together. We use community-oriented solution rather than sending police. We have, Ari was there. Alder Campbell know Ari very well. He's a local leader. And he was there, and we had other NPC was there, and we had basketball. We bring basketball hoop there. We provide $20 gift card to the kids. We did de-escalation technique rather than involving cops. I was involved, very supportive of that, and very supportive of looking into a community solution. And my record on the council shows that. Also, I also propose a complete chokehold ban on MPD as well. So these are the two things I think so I saw regarding police and F-35, and both are, I think so I express a really progressive value. And before I leave the floor, I don't want to take too much of your time. Regarding Oscar Mai, I fight tooth and nail on environmental justice, not only F-35, but also environmental contamination on CCEC, Common Council Executive Committee, several meetings with the mayor, with the city staff, and I took a solid position. We cannot have any metro union workers there. We cannot allow to have affordable housing there until we clean vertical and horizontally contamination and do further testing. Without testing, how can we propose those things? This is a huge issue on environmental justice. And we have some good success and achievement. And Midwest Environmental Justice Organization, Jim Paul, he also endorsed me. And his endorsement is on my website about my work with environmental justice. And I'm absolutely committed to work for the community, for people of color, as well as on issues which really impact the district and city. Pass, thank you.
Okay, thanks. So would anyone like to get on the stack with any questions or discussion? Okay, I see Sam. Go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to provide a direct response, but I just want to speak on, Tessa's behalf. I haven't worked with her or in organizing, but I can speak to her values and her questions on the question here are very impressive in my opinion. Yes.
So I'll put myself on the stack. I do have a few follow-up questions for you, Syed. So I'll just throw them all out right now, and hopefully that's not too much. But if you need me to repeat any of them, then I'm happy to. First of all, you mentioned getting money from the Chamber of Commerce. Are you accepting any money from the Chamber of Commerce or other corporate interests this year? And the second question is regarding the F-35s, because a blog post was referenced where you said you were not opposed to the military aspect of the F-35s, but a lot of concerns have been raised about, basically escalating a military presence in our city, particularly when the F-35 is part of the nuclear weapon delivery system, basically turning Madison into a target in the case of nuclear war. So I was wondering if if you had any thoughts on that issue and the militarization aspect. And finally, I just wanted to ask, if your views on policing and criminal justice have evolved during your time on the council, and if so, then how? Pass.
Thanks, Steve. So I will try to answer first about Chamber of Commerce. We got over a lot of endorsement from different community group. I submitted my endorsement answer. That does not mean I'm looking for their endorsement. We definitely, me and Chamber have a huge difference of opinion, not only F-35, but on the issue of electric vehicle charging ordinance, which was passed, issue of plastic straw ordinance, issue of F-35, issue of PFAS. So I'm not looking for their donation or money, but at the same time, it's a good policy. It's a good policy to at least answer their questions. I did answer their question, but not looking for direct answer is not looking for their dollar. Second is about your question on F-35 and my blog post, which was posted. As I said earlier, being an immigrant, come to a community and learning about community issues, I'm not politician by any means, just like a regular guy like you with a family, having your 2 little kids at home. And as I said, I listen, I learn, and then try to lead. And I listen you guys and my position. And even Chamber told me they are very upset with me because I took a hardcore position, not even left any margin in my position. So if you see after that blog and the time what happened during council, I gave you a lot of examples, including my solid position of saying complete no, my meeting with the assistant air secretary. Also, when I met with Tammy Baldwin on the issue of Kashmir, there was a resolution proposed and passed in Common Council, which I sponsored on the human right violation of India against Muslim minority. So I met with Tammy Baldwin regarding that issue. I discussed and left a USP with her and about all the information on F-35 and asked her to oppose it completely. So that blog post and the time I learned, I represent exactly what should need to be done and complete opposition. So if you are judging me from just that blog and not looking at my whole portfolio, so that's I will encourage you to look the whole context, not only one initial part when I was just learning and understanding community. Regarding militarization, absolutely, I'm strong opposition of having any heavy presence of military in a community which is really dense. And imagine what they did. They destroy and damage our clean water. And now the city is going to face cancer and other disease. And that's what happened when heavy military presence is. And it doesn't make any sense to have them here. And absolutely, I oppose that. So I want to clear that. And then your third question is on police as well. In my questions, I mentioned about my commitment with Black Lives Movement and as an ally. And also I have seen the protest, and after that protest, if you see my votes on a Common Council regarding Civilian Oversight Board, I voted in favor of that, and also Independent Police Monitor. I voted for Kahoot, Crisis Assistant Helping Out program along with other alders. Alder Campbell was one of the sponsors, and that money was also directly taken, which is kind of like directly or indirectly, you can say defunding. That money was taken out from the police academy budget. And I mentioned that on my website as well. There's nothing to hide. I think so we need to look into creative ways how we can provide substitute service and how we can remove the role of policing in the community. Also, I mentioned about chokehold ban. I also had, as a Common Council Vice President, Dave, I had many discussions with the mayor office, how we can use park ranger or other departments to provide ticket. Like as an example, if there's a violation, we don't need to send police there. We should look into other options. And one of the discussion I had with the mayor was with the noise sense, people call 911 and students are throwing a party. There's no point for a cops with a gun need to go there. Why not we send a building inspector? Or look into a different ways. So if we need to change some ordinance or if we need to lobby with the state, we should do it. So we can look into creative ways beside mental health, how we can start creating substitutes and start providing those services to community, and rather than community relying heavy on police all the time and calling 911. So in policing, yes, in last 1 year, especially after Black Lives Matter movement, and even before Civilian Oversight Board, I voted along with many alders on a Common Council. None of my vote is allocated in a way which is questionable, my opinion.
Okay, thanks. So does anyone else have any questions or discussion regarding District 12? Okay. I'm not seeing any right now. So let's keep moving to District 14, where Brandy Grayson has applied for our endorsement. So anyone like to get on the stack regarding District 14 and Brandy Grayson. Sam, go ahead.
I thought Brandy's answers were impressive. I think that the activism that she's been involved in speaks for itself. So I would key in favor of endorsement.
Okay, thanks. Amber?
I've been working with Brandy, you know, through the just providing supplies and through the Black Lives Matter and urban triage and just the work that she's been doing in the community, organizing folks, building community. I think it'd be a great thing to be able to provide an endorsement to her. Pass.
Okay. Thanks. I'll just put myself on to say that I fully concur. I think, you know, Brandy's done great work and, you know, would be enthusiastic to endorse her. Right, any questions or discussion regarding District 14, Brandy Grayson? Okay, not seeing any. So let's keep moving and go to District 15, where Grant Foster has applied for our endorsement. Grant is running unopposed. I'll just put myself on quickly to say that you know, we supported him in his first run, and I would support him again. You know, I really admire all the work that he puts in, and I feel like his expertise on transportation alternatives is so critical to a city, you know, in the era of climate crisis. So, yeah, and you know, although he's running unopposed. Oh, and I should also mention he participated in our Green Campaign School in 2019, together with Patrick Heck, and yeah, I fully support endorsing Grant. Pass. Andrea?
Well, so there have been a couple of voices more knowledgeable about the candidates. I've not weighed in because my knowledge is mainly really from their answers, but I thought grants were good. So I agree. I would be happy to endorse. Pass.
Thanks. Okay. Any other discussion regarding District 15, Grant Foster? Okay, not seeing any. Let's move on to District 18, Rebecca Kemble, who's here with us. So Rebecca, would you like to make a statement?
Sure. I would be honored to receive your endorsement. I was endorsed for my last 3 terms by the Green Party. The Green Party has really helped me, and I've helped the Green Party. It's been a great partnership, and I just feel so strongly that we need independent politics in this country. The last 4 years, really the last 8 years, have really shown us how we need strong independent voices at all levels of government to represent the actual people, not the corporate interests running the Republican or Democratic parties. So I will say that our vice presidential candidate, Angela Walker, has endorsed me. And I don't know, I really look forward to building with you. You know, Syed will agree with me that anything we try to do on council that sort of goes against the grain, we can't do it as individuals. We really need movement behind us. We need people showing up to our meetings, writing letters, and being there to push, because the pressure is so intense from the establishment powers who don't want the boat rocked, that most alders will just go along with things unless there is a really strong presence of people either with lived experience with an issue, or with, you know, research on an issue, or with really good information on an issue to present to us that supports us taking tough votes. So I hope with each of us that Four Lakes Green Party decides to endorse, you'll stay in touch and really keep pushing your agenda actively, because it really, really matters. I mean, even if just 2 or 3 of you from an organization show up and 2 or 3 from another organization, it matters and it has a big impact. So thank you, and I'll pass.
Thanks. So I see Benjamin's on stack. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Yes, one reason I came here tonight was to endorse Rebecca. I first met her in the 2011 Capitol occupation. From there, as chance worked out, I was in her district the first time she ran. I was pleased to take a yard sign. I was pleased to give her my signature and vote, and I managed to persuade my roommates at the time to do the same. And I think the years since then have spoken for themselves as the quality of representation that Rebecca has allowed, and the better shape that the council generally is because of a few alders, Rebecca being high on that list. I pass.
Thanks. Andrea?
So full disclosure, I've donated to Rebecca's campaign, so I am not a neutral party here. I think she's great. She lives the values of the Green Party to the hilt. I'm proud to have her representing Madisonians. I'm not in her district, unfortunately, but I fully endorse her. I think she's wonderful. Pass.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm next on the stack. And yeah, I also fully support Rebecca, and you know, I wanted to note that she, you know, supported our ballot access drive last year, which was very challenging. So thank you for that. And also, you know, that she participated in our campaign school in December. And yeah, also awesome to hear that Angela Walker has endorsed you. Angela is great. And yeah, I think Rebecca has a primary coming up, so I wanted to note that, you know, so let us know how we can, or, you know, speaking for some of us who support you, many of us, let us know how we can help with that. And I also just want to say, you know, as you mentioned, you know, needing people power to go against the establishment on the council, definitely let us know, you know, how we can get involved and help with that as well. So I'll pass, and Thistle's on the stack. Go ahead.
Just wanted to say that I endorse Rebecca as well. I think she's really level-headed, and I'm glad that she's acting like a mentor to the new candidates coming in. And I've known her for a long time, and I think she just has a very even keeled way about her. And so I fully endorse her. That's it.
Okay, thanks. Is there any other questions or discussion? Okay, Sam and Rebecca.
Just adding my voice in the chorus of support and endorsement of Rebecca. Yes.
Thanks. Rebecca?
Yeah, I'm just getting a text back from Juliana. She wants to join and she needs the link. So I'm trying to get her the link to the meeting, and then she would like to come and speak for herself. She was busy with campaign stuff. She's sorry she wasn't here. Let me find the link. Or
Yeah, do you have that?
I have it somewhere, but it's like, it's, you know, a thing about getting it on my phone so I can send it to her on my phone.
If you will message me her her email, I should be able to send that to her maybe quicker than you can do on your phone.
Okay. The thing is, do I have her email even?
Let me see if it is in the if it's in the questionnaire. Oh wait, it's probably in my inbox because of the questionnaire.
Okay. All right, I'll try to do it on my.
The Juliana for District 8.
Probably. Yeah, yeah. I'll have. Hang on.
Okay. Sometimes technology is good. I have sent her the link. So
She should be. I told her to look at that
thanks.
email.
What's that?
I told her to check her campaign email. Pass.
Okay. Well, I will say her timing is very good because we're just getting to the end here. Okay, and that's the Zoom link that Rachel shared. Okay. So now that we are more or less at the end, oh, Juliana seems to be joining. Okay. Welcome, Juliana. Your timing is perfect. We just got through discussing all of the city council races on our agenda, but you're very welcome to make a statement, and if you want to join in discussion with anyone, then feel free. Anyway, I will turn it over to you.
Gee, thank you so much. And again, apologies for hopping in a bit late. So thank you so much for having me here today. I'll just say a few words. One, I'm just so thankful to be in your presence right now. Me personally, going over all of your platforms, I agree with all of them, and I feel like we're on the same wavelength where I know that in my background, and just especially as a university student, one that's very deeply ingrained in District 8, I think we share the same goals of reaching equity, reaching justice, and having that on a racial and environmental level. That's what drives me, and that's what will at the very core of it, I know that I'm a member of this community, an activist, and I know that in Madison we can do better, we can be better. So that's how I with this campaign, our campaign is completely funded by the community and empowered by university students. And at the end of the day, I hope to work to create a coalition of strong, civically engaged young people to be engaged in politics. And I hope that we can work together to achieve that goal. So thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So just wanted to, ask if anyone has any questions for Juliana, or any comments regarding the District 8 race. If so, feel free to get on the stack. Okay, Andrea, go ahead.
Juliana, thanks for joining us. So I want to ask the question to you that I posed before you were here, just well, for fairness, and also, but so it's about the requirement to forego corporate funding. Your answers didn't address that, and to be fair, several other people also did not address that, and I haven't pointed that out because there was more discussion, so that I thought was more important than that comment. So you've unfortunately been singled out, and I just wanted to hear your response to that question about corporate funding. Sorry, pass.
Certainly. Yeah. Should I respond? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrea. Yeah. Apologies for not directly addressing that question. Yeah, I'm definitely like not taking any corporate funding for this race. I'm not, like I said, like this campaign is empowered by the community. So right now, like most of our donations are from friends, families, and those that actually live in District 8. That's currently what makes up most of or basically all of our donations, and I hope to keep it that way. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Anyone else like to get on the stack? Whether regarding District 8 or just anything else regarding the Common Council races before we move on to the next agenda item? Syed?
Yes, before I leave, I would like to say thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak. And also, regardless, whatever your decision is, I would like to stay engaged and connect with you all and learn from you all. As I'm new here, and every time we are learning, and 2020 is last year was a really hard year for all of us. None of us was prepared to deal with pandemic, but with the pandemic, there's a lot of issue on hand. So I'm willing to work with any of you and all of you. You have my email and cell number. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any question or anything to share. So thanks for the opportunity. I'll appreciate that.
Thanks. Okay. So anything else regarding the Common Council races? Feel free to get on the stack. Otherwise, we will move along to our next item. And I'll say, still give people a little bit of chance in case they have any last thoughts to comment on the local elections. But so our next item is regarding the Four Lakes Green Party chapter representative election of the Wisconsin Green Party Coordinating Council. So just for folks who are newer, the Four Lakes Green Party is our local Green Party chapter for Dane County and South Central Wisconsin. The Wisconsin Green Party Coordinating Council is the decision-making body for the state party in between membership meetings, because we practice grassroots democracy. the statewide membership meetings are our highest decision-making body. But in between those meetings, which happen every year in the spring and fall, the coordinating council meets once a month and conducts the business of the party, and is entrusted with decision-making power. As I mentioned before, when the meeting is over, we will pull a list of all of our dues-paying members of the the Four Lakes Green Party, and we'll send a voting link to all of them, where they'll be able to vote both on the questions of Common Council endorsements, as well as on the local chapter representative to the coordinating council. And we've had at least one person who mentioned the difficulty with the donate page, but we'll make sure that everyone who is at least trying to pay their membership dues will be able to vote. So we have 2 declared candidates for the local chapter representative to the coordinating council, and those are Andrea Bilger and Thistle Pedersen. So I will hand it over to first to Andrea, then to Thistle to make their statements, and then we'll open it up for questions and discussion. And I have to take a quick bio break myself. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. But Andrea, without further ado, I'll hand it over to you.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. So I am, as I mentioned earlier, a relatively new member of the Four Lakes Green Party. I've been attending these meetings for a few months now and have enjoyed them. I've been voting green in presidential elections a little longer than that, the last couple. I've slowly become more and more convinced that the only party I can support is the Green Party. And so, now I'm all in. Previous experience, I've phone banked, I've canvassed, passed out literature, donated to quite a few campaigns. I went to Iowa for Bernie. I went door to door for Obama. I had my reasons at the time. Anyway, there's some things I might do differently now, but I feel strongly about the Green Party's 4 pillars, and especially some kind of Green New Deal climate legislation and Medicare for all. I've been thinking about what we could do in terms of pushing that, and maybe some slight, long range ideas, but I think a nationwide ad campaign for Medicare for all. I think everyone's primed to push for that, and if we could join with many other groups who'd be interested in getting that passed, to push Congress, while it's all Democrats, to act on that, I think that could be very good. I think the Green New Deal or some kind of climate legislation is so crucial. We're really on the brink. I remember telling people after the Inconvenient Truth came out that I really thought the issue was a matter of years and not decades. And I'm no climate scientist, but turns out that seems to be true. It's kind of the worst case scenario. So nationwide ad campaigns, I'd be very interested in having a green state park or something like that. I thought of that, and then a few days later, I heard that some former Justice Democrats had done an ad campaign against Joe Manchin, pressuring him on the $2,000 COVID relief checks, and that it had actually had an impact on what he was saying publicly about COVID relief. And so I thought the people already out there doing this kind of thing, it could be scaled up. Obviously, I haven't been active at politics at a high enough level to know exactly how practical that is, but those are the kind of things that go through my head. What the Greens are already doing in terms of ranked choice voting and the F-35s, I'm strongly supportive. I haven't been active in those things yet, but I'd really like to actively support those issues, especially the ranked choice voting. I feel strongly, I'm proud I voted for Jill Stein. I feel strongly about what she managed to do in Pennsylvania in terms of paper ballots, manual counting, auditing. I think that really needs to be the rule of the land. So yeah, I'll wind down. I've done a variety of things. I protested Scott Walker for a long time. Did paddle protests. I was a photographer for a Wanted for Singing in the Capitol photo series that eventually made it into the Unintimidated book. That was my husband's idea, which a lot of things are. He's a comic at heart, and he is one of the most fun things I did was help edit his tongue-in-cheek testimony in favor of right to work as a bankruptcy lawyer, saying that it was going to be good for his business. Rebecca filmed that, and it got over 100,000 views. So thank you, Rebecca. That was great. And yeah, anyway, I'm open for questions and pass.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, we will have opportunity for questions. First, I did want to have a chance for the candidates to make a statement. So Thistle, you can take it away.
Thanks. So good evening. Thanks for allowing me to speak. I haven't advocated for Democrats or Republicans, but I did vote for Nader and often for the Green Party. I'm here to ask you for your vote to elect me as our local chapter's representative to the Wisconsin Green Party Coordinating Council. My priorities are to get the Greens ballot access in our state, find and support Green candidates, and to inspire and activate membership in the party. I've lived in Madison most of my life, including many of my childhood years. I love the lakes, the land, the people, and the spirit of Wisconsin and living in the capital city. I participated in the 2011 uprising at the Capitol and in the Occupy movement. I too was arrested for singing in the Capitol, like my opponent this evening. And I was also involved in the Occupy movement that sprung up from the 2011 uprising. I'm co-founder of Madison Action for Mining Alternatives, or MAMA, and worked for 5 years from 2012 to 2017 to fight big oil and gas industry pipelines and resource extractive industries in our state. That vitally important work came to an untimely end due to an authoritarian backlash and the bullying responses to my feminist views and organizing. I have a feminist analysis of sex and gender, and am a signatory to the Declaration on Women's Sex-Based Rights. I was the founding member of the Women's Liberation Radio News Collective, which produces a monthly news show featuring interviews, a world news segment, music, and commentary. And though many progressives, liberals, and Greens in the Madison area may disagree with my views on sex and gender, my track record over the years demonstrates support for a broader array of Green Party issues. I cut my teeth with the campus Greens at UW-Madison, organizing critical mass bike rides in the early 90s and advocating for increased bike safety and visibility in the city. I've campaigned against the F-35, not as NIMBY opposition to hearing them overhead in our community, but as a local struggle against US wars and imperialism. My 5 years of work with Mama speaks for itself. As a 10 key value Green, I of course support a radical feminist analysis and politics. As a lifelong anarchist and Green, I share our values for a grassroots democracy and a respect for diversity, not just the biological diversity so necessary to preventing life on this, or preserving, sorry, to preserving life on this planet, but also the diversity of opinions and perspectives so vital to building independent political power. I recognize that it was not enough to turn Trump out, that Biden brings with him a whole new set of threats. I support ecological wisdom and a sustainable future in which all of us can breathe the air and drink the water, no matter how we identify or what sex, race, or economic class we share, or what creed we believe. We Greens share core values. Our diversity makes us stronger. We are capable of collaboration on shared public policy goals. Together, we can build a more cooperative, just, and sustainable future for the young kids I teach and the children bringing joy to our community. Thanks for being here, my fellow Greens.
Okay, thank you. So first up on the stack, we have Amber. And then Sam. Go ahead, Amber.
I would like to voice my support for Andrea Bilger for the candidate position. I think while I think all of us here share a lot of values centered on the Green Party initiatives, I think if we elect Thistle Pedersen to the position, we are no different than the QAnon conspiracist theorists and their unwillingness in the Republican Party to censure Marjorie Taylor Greene for basically conspiracy theorists that anything and everything that does not represent reality. Trans women are women, trans men are men, non-binary people are valid, and I pass.
Thank you. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also like to voice my support for Andrea. In the short time that she's been involved with the Forex Greens, I've been very impressed with her willingness to really dive in and engage with the work that we do. You know, I mean, that's the kind of enthusiasm that we need in the party to grow and to get things done. So I'd be you know, honored to serve with her on the Coordinating Council. I'd also like to address Thistle's candidacy. You know, I don't want to necessarily take up too much floor space with it, but we've been receiving public criticism through our website related to Thistle's candidacy. So I would like to read what we've received into the record. You know, so I'm going to do that. All right, and I'm not going to name the people that submitted these feedback because they didn't say, hey, Sam, read these in the record for me. This is just what we received today. And we received today because this is the day of the election. Okay, so first piece of feedback. I've heard Thistle Pedersen, well known as a trans exclusionary radical feminist, is running for some kind of position within the Wisconsin Greens. I am horrified. There are several articles detailing her extreme anti-trans views, which have zero place in the Wisconsin Green Party or progressive politics and decision-making in general. I will not be able to attend the meeting this evening at 6:30, but would like to see this person expelled from the Green Party due to their horrible and transphobic views. They are very open about this, and a Google search with her name and trans reveals it all. Please make sure this person cannot be involved in politics with such toxic views. As a trans person with many trans friends and LGBTQIA+ friends in general, I am mortified to think a person like Thistle could possibly be considered for any position at all. Thank you for reading this. This is not secret information about this person. It is well known. People will be coming to the meeting tonight to publicly vote against this person. A vote on her candidacy shouldn't even need to happen because the Greens shouldn't allow her to run in the first place. That's the end of the first response. The second response is, the purpose of this message is to formally articulate my concerns about Thistle Pedersen's involvement in the Wisconsin Green Party. Many of us who have been politically active in the Madison community are well aware of her trans-inclusionary radical feminist views, which are bigoted and harmful and should have no place in a political party that wants to claim that it is, quote, progressive, end quote. I was in attendance at the 2020 Green Party Fall Gathering and witnessed firsthand how Thistle quickly maneuvered to dominate the discussion with toxic, bigoted rhetoric she spouts often in poorly attempts to disguise as feminism. This did a disservice to the gathering and made at least one participant feel uncomfortable enough to articulate that, as a newcomer to the party, they felt unsafe and unwelcome. I believe that Thistle's behavior is damaging and does a disservice to the Wisconsin Green Party, and I left the gathering with a very negative impression of the state of the party myself, particularly when I learned that Thistle was allowed to run for several positions within the party, which could potentially give her power and influence to affect party policy and official positions. Thistle has a long history of spreading hateful rhetoric and then attacking anyone who challenges her. As stated earlier, her history and reputation is well known in several communities in Madison. I must admit that I have and am reconsidering my desire to support the Phoenix Green Party and by extension the Wisconsin Green Party, as I have no desire to be publicly affiliated in any way with someone who holds and promotes such venomous, regressive, bigoted views. I hope the Wisconsin Green Party will consider taking action to stop giving this person a platform for their hatred. Thistle Pedersen should not be allowed to hold office within the Green Party, and in my opinion, should not be allowed to be an active member of the Green Party at all. I'm unable to attend tonight's meeting, but I do plan to vote against Thistle's political aspirations within the party at any opportunity and implore others to do the same. And of that response, my personal experiences track with that as well. Pass.
Okay, thanks. So I'm next up on the stack, and first of all, I wanted to say that I support Andrea wholeheartedly. I think she'd be a fantastic representative for our local chapter. I also wanted to mention that, I'm puzzled that Thistle has expressed, rhetoric in support of ideological diversity and free speech. When I raised the issue of her local activism, the first time that she tried to run for office in the Wisconsin Green Party, she immediately filed a complaint against me. Said that she wanted to have me removed from the Wisconsin Green Party, and attempted to to gag me from saying anything about her candidacy tonight. So I'll just basically leave it there. I mean, my comments are on the record at the Green Party Fall Gathering. Regarding, Thistle's well-documented advocacy against the trans rights movement, and some extremely troubling comments that she's made. That's all. I'll pass, and Rachel's on the stack.
I want to echo concerns that have already been stated about Thistle's trans exclusionary perspective and how dominant that is in her rhetoric in particular. And also, Andrea, I haven't been to meetings with you before, but have been really grateful to hear all the thorough research that you did on all the candidates. It seemed like you spent a lot of time really digging into them pretty broadly, and were not afraid to challenge them and hold people accountable. And I think that those are some skills that we would want to represent the Four Lakes. Check.
Thanks. Okay, Amber?
I would just like to also build on what I said before, and echoing Sam and Rachel's point that the trans exclusionary views essentially dominates Thistle's entire worldview. I personally know the person who designed the album cover for Thistle's first album, has known her for several years. And as soon as this person reached out to Thistle to, in love, discuss her viewpoints, responded with hate speech and blocked. I find it ironic that Thistle claims diversity and emphatically does not believe in diversity, any sort of diversity that violates her conspiracy theorist worldview path.
Okay. Would any other Four Lakes Green Party members like to get on the stack? Although we're over our time. Okay. Not seeing any. So thanks everyone for that frank discussion. As I mentioned before, everyone who is a member of the Four Lakes Green Party, even if they, had trouble paying their dues, don't worry, we'll add you to the voter list. We will send out a voting link so that you're able to cast your ballot. Feel free to continue discussion on our email list. If folks have any questions, I know that there has been a little bit of confusion regarding our voting system and the, how to vote against a candidate using the none of the remaining candidates option. So if that's confusing for anyone, please feel free to, reach out, and I'd be happy to explain in more depth. But I know it's past 8 o'clock, and folks have been sticking around for a while. So thank you very much for sticking with it. And I want to, thank all the new folks who joined recently and who are just getting involved. It's, very exciting to see. And, this year's local elections are very exciting. And, as a Green Party, we have a lot of opportunities to, make positive change in our community, in our world. I guess we can probably adjourn with that. So I'm sure people are hungry and tired. Again, so everyone here should have my email. I'll, put it out one more time. let me know if you have any issues getting on the email list or anything like that. Yeah, we will definitely be in touch in the next few days. Oh, also there's a question about the voting period. So we've been doing 48 hours from the time that the voting link is sent out. So look for that link, the voting link, to be sent out shortly, hopefully tonight. If not, then hopefully early tomorrow. And there will be 48 hours to vote from the time that that's sent out. So that info I'll also make sure is on the email list. Yeah, so thanks everyone again for participating tonight. And I think we can say good night.
Good night.
Question about the problem on the website.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I saw your chat message, but I haven't looked into it. And then, but I saw a comment from somebody saying that they were able to make a donation, but I assume I should still dig into it a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think there were two people who had issues, and one of them was able to resolve it. The other one wasn't.
Okay.
I believe what happened. I can take a quick look now, but I think that Rachel was not able to get the donate page to work for her. And Amber initially had a problem, but then was able to do it.
Okay, Rachel. Well, yeah, there should be like a log of a failure. So
there is, yeah. I looked on Rachel's, I pulled her info, and she tried twice to donate, and she told me 2 different cards, and it looks like she had 2. It rejected it twice. So
okay, I mean, I can call Nation Builder. That's the easy thing. It's just, in that respect, it's a really nice company. I give them a lot of credit. And I can I'll look at the log. All right, that's all I have. I think I'm gonna well, I guess no, I might as well ask you about the other question about observers being on the mailing list, because for one thing, Madison has it's a good contrast to the Milwaukee local. We can learn from you guys, and if I can just, if you don't want me to post, that's fine, but just occasionally reading it. And what I would do most likely is not read it at all for months, and then I would scrape it and look for interesting, on a Saturday afternoon, I might go in there and spend a couple hours reading it. You don't have to answer now, but
I'm willing to add you as an observer.
Okay. Well, you can actually even set it so that I can't, I can't post that way. You'll know. I won't do it by mistake then.
Can I trust you to exercise restraint? Just because, the more people,
right. Well,
the more likely they
are.
are.
You can trust me. Well, there's a parallel question, which is the question, it came up like well, there's just 3 of us here. I think we're okay. I'm okay to say this, so keep an eye on this issue of you being in the dispute resolution mailing list. I think we can trust it seems ethical for you not to be following those emails, right, during the period that we're working. It's a technical issue, sort of, in a way. Ideally, we'd have a completely different mailing list just for every dispute, right? You know where I'm going?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean,
right
here, you know, actually, this is recording right now for the Four Lakes list. So why don't we?
Oh, you can just
Yeah, why don't we
stop the
end
recording. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just stop the recording. Right.
Stop the recording.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
You can do